What's up, Upstanders? Dr. O here. And look, I want to talk about a narrative that, quite honestly, I have been part of over the last few weeks since the election. But I think it's really important that we start to change our mindset around this. So many of us, like I said, including myself, have had this mindset of these billionaires are acquiescing to Trump. They're caving in advance, as Tim Snyder talks about in his incredible books on tyranny, on freedom. And don't get me wrong, all of the principles that are there are real and legit. But I think with many of these billionaires, the Zuckerbergs of the world, they're not acquiescing in advance. They're joining Trump's movement of world domination. They want to dominate the world in the spaces that they occupy, whether it's AI, whether it's space exploration. I heard one guy, I believe the name was Leary, someone correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, who's like, once Biden started having these regulations about how they were going to control AI, they were like, forget it, I'm not supporting that anymore. Because in all of their industries, they want deregulation. And the thing that made me finally realize it, because I was thinking about it a little bit, but the point that solidified it in my mind was when I heard Zuckerberg say in his whatever you want to call it announcement when they said they weren't going to fact check anymore. They weren't really doing the best job of it. But anyway, he said that they wanted to partner with the Trump administration to get Europe to lower its regulatory powers on Facebook in Europe. And that's when it solidified. I mean, that these guys, just like these white Christian evangelicals, and I already knew this about them, but these business guys, they just see Trump as an avatar for everything that they want to do as it relates to their businesses and business models. Same with Jeff Bezos. Joanne Reed talked about they're changing their democracy dies in darkness, which was never true, to something about riveting stories for all America or something like that. Jeff Bezos doesn't care about common folk. Doesn't really care about the Washington Post is like a blip on his whatever he's on his business plan. Doesn't really care about it unless it's criticizing him or in some way, shape, or form, or may do things that make him look wrong as it relates to Trump. Elon Musk, I mean, come on. These other guys from South Africa or who are raised in South Africa, David Sachs, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, they just want to expand their empires. And Trump is going to be the guy that's going to help them do that. I believe the head of TikTok's going to be at the inauguration as well. Foreign leaders never get invited to inaugurations, but many of them have been invited, and they're dictators as well in their countries or working to be dictators. And the way that these billionaires, as Biden talked about, oligarchies are going to be out on right there on the stage with them, they see power. They see that it's not about cowardice. It's not about, now sure, there's some who are a little bit here and there who may be a little bit scared of some retribution, but these guys got enough money and billions and resources and influence to sustain any of that. And if Zuckerberg wanted, he could say, with Facebook, we're going to be the social media platform of the resistance, and people would support it and go hard at it. But the fact of the matter is, the the people who are at the top have more wealth than like everybody who voted for the billionaires who are at the top have more wealth than all of the people who voted for Harris combined. So whose influence are they really going to chase? And so I'm saying this because we have to be mindful of that. They are banding together against common folks or people who aren't wealthy or people who don't have the access. And they're doing it in the field of medicine, in social media, in the environment, in space travel and exploration. They are banding together. And we've seen this before through our history, the robber barons, the Carnegies, and so on and so forth. So the question becomes, what are we going to do to fight it? And they didn't do it by force because democracy doesn't die in darkness. I've always said it dies in the light of day, right in front of people. People staying at home, people not voting, people mad about, they didn't want to vote for a black woman, people mad about the black woman with the Jewish husband. Like, run down the list. People, mad about Gaza, don't get me wrong, I'm mad about what's going on there as well. But I wasn't going to, look at voting in the guy who said that it makes great beachfront property and who appointed a man as an ambassador to Israel, who said that he doesn't believe in the Palestinian and the West Bank should automatically be part of Israeli territory. And some of Trump's donors, their number one reason they're donating is because they want that West Bank annexed. And if I'm correct, the ambassador to the United States from Israel, when he got nominated, was currently living in the West Bank, right? So, there were so many reasons that people chose to stay home or not vote Democrat that are really going to come back to bite us in many ways, shapes, and forms. But the sooner we stop going with this narrative of these guys are scared of Trump and embrace the narrative that they're uniting with Trump against everybody else, the sooner we'll be able to develop better strategies to actually fight what's going on. And that's what needs to happen here. We need to be more strategic. We need to be more knowledgeable. We need to be more mindful of what's actually going on. And when we do that, we'll be able to have a better way to address this, because we got midterms coming up. We got the next election that's coming up. And so we got to fight it politically. But there's other ways we can fight this in our space as well. These billionaires are not cowards. They are coalescing. They are coming together. What are we going to do to come together to fight this? That's all I got for y'all. I'm hoping that just resonates with y'all. I hope we start to change our language in all of our platforms and keep up the fight, because organized, we can win. Disorganized, it's a wrap. Peace.